Coming up on the Wayne Community News, results, reminders, and outstanding representatives from our community. Stay tuned. Hello, I'm Sharon Popek bringing you the Wayne Community News. We thought you might be interested in election results from voters in the city of Wayne. Dick Polina spoke with City Clerk Doris Nall.
Yesterday was presidential election day throughout the United States, and nationwide 48% of the registered voters participated. But I'm pleased to say that in Wayne, nearly 56% of our registered voters took part. Some of these selected contests that our citizens may be interested in, I'll give you the results for the position of president. 1,933 people voted for Republican Dole. 3,899 voted for Democrat Clinton to be reelected. 61 votes were cast for Mr. Brown of the Libertarian Party. 5 votes were cast for Moorhead of the Workers' World Party, 3 for White of the Socialist Equality Party, 696 for Ross Perot of the Reform Party, and 7 for Hagelin of the Natural Law Party. In the office for United States Senate, 2,079 votes were cast for Romney, 4,214 for Levin, 77 for Proctor, 35 for Roundtree, 10 for McLaughlin, and 28 for Mattingly. In the contest for congressional seat, Fitzsimmons received 2,417 votes in Wayne, Lynn Rivers received 3,701, Montgomery 125, Cutter 66, and Hartnett 13. For the state representative race, Diane Dorr received 1,781 and Thomas Kelly 4,399. For the Wayne County offices, Knapp received 1,927 votes for prosecutor. John O'Hare, 4,104 votes were cast. For Wayne County Sheriff, Olszewski received 1,843 votes, and Ficano 4,314. For Wayne County Clerk, Wallace received 2,472 votes, and Hunter 3,375. For Wayne County Treasurer, Wozni received 1,954, and Wodowitz 3,931. For Register of Deeds, Spearman Leach received 1,748, Youngblood 4,068, and for Wayne County Commissioner, the only name on the ballot was for Republican Bruce Patterson, who received 3,170 votes. There were state proposals totaling 6 of them. Proposal A, the yes votes were 1,993. The no votes were 3,921, indicating that a majority of the people in Wayne wanted political parties and candidate committees and so forth to be able to continue to have bingo games as a fundraising project. Proposal B, to establish qualifications for judicial offices, passed 4,754 to 1,009. Proposal C, to establish the Michigan Veterans Trust Fund in the state constitution, passed 3,941 to 1,545. Proposal D, which was an initiative to ban the use of bait and dogs for hunting bear, was defeated by the Wayne voters, 3,894 to 2,295. Proposal E, to provide casino gaming in qualified cities, passed in Wayne 3,680 votes to 2,534. Proposal G, a referendum on a public act regarding the management of Michigan's wildlife, passed 4,091 to 1,887. Wayne County had 3 proposals on the ballot. The one concerning an independent council was defeated 2,523 to 2,025. The proposal for the Auditor General powers was voted for in Wayne, 2,822 to 1,708. And Proposal S, to establish hotel and car rental taxes to finance the 2 stadiums in Detroit, passed 3,281 to 2,678. And the community college, the Wayne County Community College millage renewal, passed by a margin of 60 votes, 2,874 in favor of the renewal and 2,814 against. Thank you.
It's that time of year for your final fertilizing, according to Dr. Dean Crosskopf.
Thank you. Well, just because it's cold weather out there doesn't mean that all your chores outside are done. This is a great time, in fact, the ideal time to do some fertilization, not only for your grass, but also for your trees and shrubs. Plants are interesting that the roots are active at different temperatures than the tops, and especially now. The soil is not that cool. It hasn't frozen really, and it's really slow to cool down, especially if you that have clay soils. They cool much slower than the ones that are sandier. So the roots are still active, and by the way, physiologically, they operate at lower temperatures anyhow. Bottom line, you still get root uptake, root activity, so now is a good time to fertilize. The nutrients are taken up, but you don't get that sudden surge of growth on top that may not harden off and freeze or have any other problems during the winter. Typically on your turf, now is the one to do that, what we call the winter feed, the dormant feed, the fall fertilizer, whatever. Look on the bag, it'll have something like that on it. The first and the third numbers will be about the same, which is a little different than some of the other fertilizers that we use other times of the year. And lastly, look for something called WIN, W-I-N. It's water insoluble nitrogen. The higher that number, and you may have to look at the real fine print on the label, the better off you are. Unfortunately, the higher that number, also the more you're going to pay. The advantage of doing it this time of year is that the nutrients will be taken up, the plant will overwinter well. The next spring it'll green up, but especially the turf will not get real lush, so you don't have to mow it so often, and you don't have to worry about fertilizing until probably May. So this is a real good thing to do. On your trees and shrubs, typically we use a rate of about 1 pound of actual nitrogen per 1,000 gallons, or 1,000 square feet, excuse me. And if you want to break that down into smaller bed areas, you can call our office at the hotline number, and we can get a little chart that'll help you. With trees, we usually have an idea of how big the trunk is and how far out it reaches. That'll give you a rate of how many things you put around. You can spread it underneath the mulch and work it in slightly and then put the mulch back, or you can drill holes in the ground and so many around the area and fill them with fertilizer, and that also works. Typically with shrubs with very shallow root systems, the best way to apply it is to pull the mulch back, put the fertilizer down, and rake it in lightly so it's under the soil, and then put your mulch back. So sorry to say that you can't enjoy winter yet. We still got some work to do. And the work that you do with this late fertilization is very key to how your plants grow next spring. See you next week.
Although the Wayne Memorial Zebras lost in their annual battle to the John Glenn Rockets, there are no hard feelings. And to express district support and sportsmanship, this sign was later spotted at Wayne Memorial High School. The Rockets are preparing for the state finals. For Better Health with Cindy Rakowski.
Thank you, Sharon. Well, as November progresses, most of us start thinking about Thanksgiving and treats that we're going to prepare for ourselves and for our families, and the pumpkin is generally a guest at these events. Basically, this time of year, we turn to the harvest time, looking at gourds and pumpkins for decorations and again in our food use. We know the first Thanksgiving was celebrated years ago in the 1620s. We know that the Pilgrims landed too late to plant the food for a harvest for Thanksgiving, and that the Indians invited them to share their feast. And then on the second Thanksgiving, the Pilgrims who survived that rotten winter were able to share the fruits of their harvest. They shared turkey, corn, and pumpkin. Today, many of us include these three items in our Thanksgiving feast, making the pumpkin to be a pumpkin pie or pumpkin cheesecake. I have for us today a recipe that is a 3-step, double-layer pumpkin cheesecake. It takes about 10 minutes to prepare and 40 minutes to bake. Here it is if you're ready. Mix with your electric mixer on medium speed until well blended. 2 packages, 8 ounces each, of Philadelphia brand fat-free cream cheese that has been softened. Add to this a 1/2 cup of sugar and a 1/2 teaspoon vanilla. After mixing it until blended, but not overbeating, add 2 eggs. Again, being careful not to overbeat. If we overbeat the fat-free cream cheese, it turns to liquid, and we don't get the consistency that we'd like in our cheesecake. From the batter, remove 1 cup. Stir in a 1/2 cup of canned pumpkin, a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a dash of ground cloves, a dash of nutmeg. Mix, but again being careful not to overbeat. Spray a 9-inch pie plate with a non-stick cooking spray. Sprinkle the bottom of this pie plate with 1/3 cup of crushed graham cracker crumbs. Then pour into the crust first the plain batter and then the pumpkin batter. Bake at 325 degrees Fahrenheit for 35 to 40 minutes until the center is almost set. Cool, refrigerating for at least 3 hours or overnight. Just prior to serving, top with a 1/2 cup of Cool Whip free whipped topping, which is a new product on the market. From this 9-inch cheesecake, you should be able to get 8 servings. Each serving should be 150 calories with 2 grams of fat, 60 milligrams of cholesterol, 22 grams of carbohydrate, and 11 grams of protein. So as you plan your holiday feast this year, think about using the recipes that may be lower in fat and therefore better for you and for your family. Enjoy, and now back to Sharon.
November the 10th through the 16th was declared Winter Hazards Awareness Week by Mayor Warfield and the Wayne City Council. Kathy Lutkenhoff asked Fire Marshal Rob Dahlman for an explanation and also some examples.
Hi, I'm Rob Dahlman, Fire Marshal for the City of Wayne. Winter is approaching very shortly, and I'd like to give you a few tips on what to do for winter safety. First of all, we'd like to tell you to drive safely in the wintertime. Watch out for ice patches, snow drifts in the road, and blizzard conditions, which all could be hazards. I'd like to tell you a few things what to do to keep in your car in case you do get stranded. One of the few things that you need is make sure you have your gas tank always at least half a tank. That will give you some extra gas in case you do get stranded. We'd like to tell you to keep a ice scraper handy, keep a blanket handy. That way there you can cover up in case you have to shut your car engine down. Keep a container here full of salt or cat litter in case you have to put it underneath your tires to give you some traction. Keep a flashlight. Make sure the batteries are working in the flashlight also. Keep a shovel in the car and also an extra pair of boots and some gloves. And we'd like to recommend that you keep it in a small duffel bag, a diaper bag, or something that you can fit everything in one big bag and keep it handy in case you ever use it. And if you do ever get stranded in a car, if you do not see anything around, any place you can go and call help right away. We want you to stay in your car, don't go to sleep in the car, run your engine at periodic times, and make sure the windows are down a little bit so carbon monoxide does not become a factor. If you have any other questions, we'd like you to call the fire department and talk to the emergency management office. Thank you very much.
Both Detroit Edison and Consumers Power Company have special programs relating to winter heating bills. If you need help, please call and ask about these. Church members in our town were especially active last week. Joe Miller took this video as members of the First United Methodist Church prepared for their annual fall rummage sale. The First United Methodist Church has a rummage sale twice a year, and we thought that we would talk to the people that are in charge and see what they have that might be a little bit special. Ruth Van Wagner and Jill Court, I think, are the big organizers this year. Ruth, could you tell us a little bit about your rummage sale?
Well, all of our things comes from our parishioners, and we have a lot this year, more than usual, and I think it's because so many of our members have died, and I guess we have made an inheritance.
Okay, Jill, I know you've worked on this for a long time. Could you tell us a little bit about this room?
Oh, this is a plus room. Norma Weiser is the one that really started this one going, but we have better items and higher collectibles, and we really do get a lot of very interesting pieces in here, so it's a great place to come.
Okay, and it looks beautiful. I think you've done a marvelous job of setting things up with the different color arrangements. And could you tell us a little bit about what the funds that are raised here are used for, Ruth?
Well, the funds just go into the general church funds, and we have a lot of projects, not only this one, but most churches now have to have different ways to make money to keep going.
Well, this seems like a nice one, and it also gives people a chance to sort of do something with items that when they clean out their closet, maybe they can't use anymore, but they're still in much too good a condition to throw away.
That sounds good to us, and we really do get some very unusual things.
Okay, thanks. Perhaps we'll have time to go shopping.
Okay, thanks.
Maxine Johnson, tell us a little bit about the history here of the First United Methodist Church. How long has it been in Wayne?
Our Methodist Church here has been over 150 years that we've had it all together. Now we own the whole block, and this is a yearly event that we have twice a year for the rummage sale.
Okay, and it's always been on this location, even though the building might have changed. Is that true?
That's right.
And do you know how many years you've been having this rummage sale as one of your fundraisers?
You tell them, Ada.
I don't know, but we were having them in the old church before we moved over here.
And how many years ago was that?
Okay, we got in this part about 10 years ago.
Oh, yes, it's been that much or more.
But I would say we've had a rummage sale, I bet you 40 years I've been here. Probably 50 or 60 years, wouldn't you?
Been quite a long time.
Yeah. Okay, and what do you do with all the things that are left over?
Well, we try to get the Salvation Army or some St. Vincent de Paul, and when we get done on Saturday, we have a whole crew comes in and bags everything up, and they take them out by trucks.
Okay, that's a great idea. So you donate it to a charity?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay, good deal. Thank you. We stepped across the street where the First Congregational Church was celebrating 50 golden years of Christmas traditions. Working at the coffee shop are Phyllis Stein and Jenny Atwood. Jenny, I think you've been working here the longest. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the coffee shop first?
Well, I've been working here probably 20 years maybe, and it's always been a great success. We open up half an hour earlier than the rest of the fair, and people come in and enjoy coffee and all these goodies which have been donated by everyone. We don't even have to ask anymore. They just bring them in. Phyllis, what can you add to this?
I'm the new person, about 5 years, and I do the arranging of the goodies. And in the morning we try to have breakfast type food and also some sweets, and then in the afternoon we have only sweets and coffee and tea.
Is the coffee shop open throughout the 2 days that the fair is open every year?
Yes, it's open until 4 o'clock. 9 to 4.
Okay. Since you're the first people that we've talked to today, perhaps you could tell us what happens with all the funds that are raised during this Christmas fair.
This is the Women's Fellowship that sponsor this, and they take part in a lot of activities, and I'm not able to tell you exactly where all the money goes, but it certainly is well spent.
Our studio guests are Jack Demmer and Dick Clark, who will talk about the 100 Club, along with some other items too. We're glad to welcome both Jack Demmer and Dick Clark, who are here representing the 100 Club, although we're going to talk to them about some of their other activities that they are involved with in the city of Wayne and this whole area also. Jack, why don't you tell us a little bit to start with about how the 100 Club got organized?
Okay, yes, Sharon. It's nice to be here with you this evening.
Thank
and
you.
I'm very happy to talk a little bit about the 100 Club. As most of you know, or most of the people in the audience will really not recognize it, I started in Wayne in 1957 as an Etzel dealer, and have known a lot of the old-timers in Wayne and a lot of the new-timers in Wayne, and have always felt that they are very charitable type of people and would be very much outgoing as far as trying to help those in need. And being a member of a similar club in Dearborn called the Centurions, I felt that a Wayne 100 Club would be very beneficial not only to those in need but to the city of Wayne. And with the help of John Ryan, initially why we went after a 501c tax deductible IRS situation, which it took us a year to accomplish, and as a result why we didn't start quite as early as we wanted to. We have been going for about a year and a half now, and we've done very well so far for what we've done with the money we've taken in, and been able to help a lot of people in need. And the main reason for the 100 Club is to help those that are really in need at the moment. We don't have any forms to fill out or any red tape at all. Mr. Clark here will get into that a little more, but if someone's in very desperately need of some help today, why they can handle it within 24 hours. And so we're very
great.
pleased. Huh?
That is wonderful.
Yes, it is. And a lot of people that need help, sometimes you're tied up so tight with your immediate problems, you don't know that there are other areas you can find help, but with the Wayne 100 Club, you can get help immediately within 24 hours or even less if necessary.
Okay, Dick, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the kinds of help that has been provided, because I know that you are part of a committee that handles that.
Okay. The Grants Committee of the Wayne 100 Club consists of 6 of our members. Most of our communications are done via the telephone. If another minister, a school principal, a social worker, or somebody were to contact me or another member of our group and let us know that there's a need, we will as quickly as possible, usually that same day, verify that the need exists and how much monies might be needed to alleviate that need. I will then contact the other members that I can reach of our committee, and if we don't reach all 6, then we take action with the number that we can reach. And if necessary, we'll write the check that day and deliver it, or the next day. The beauty of our organization is that there are many, many other groups and organizations who would be happy, I'm sure, to assist folks who are in need. But because of the restrictions they might have, they need to do some paperwork, they need to do some investigating, they need to have a club meeting. Our organization, the Wayne 100 Club, is structured such that we have one meeting a year, which is a social luncheon for all of us to see each other. And other than that, the members of the organization have given the $100 to the group, delegated to the Grants Committee the responsibility to find needs in the community and to spend that money. And we just don't want to get hung up in the paperwork. If somebody has a need that needs to be met, then we want to meet it.
And does 100 Club mean there are 100 members, Jack?
That is the goal we wish to attain. At the present, I think we're a little over 80 members. And we hopefully, if you will allow us to put a commercial on, why if someone will contact Dick Clark at the city or myself at the dealership, we'll be only happy to have another 18 or 20 members join us. I would like to, at this time, really thank Maury Millar and Tom Daly for the efforts they've put forth in bringing new members into the club. So hopefully this year, I think Dick said that we will have 100 members by the end of the year. So, and we can go over 100 if necessary. We'll create a waiting list, but that doesn't mean you can't be part of the organization.
So you have 100 members, or at least that's your goal. Hopefully some of our viewers out there will be happy to join the 100 Club. And each one writes you a check for $100 to start out with.
That's correct. In November of each year, we send to our members a request that they contribute their annual membership of $100, and that's the only time we asked for that contribution. We, as a rule, have no problem collecting it. This will be our third year of asking the members to contribute. And then throughout the year we can write checks. Certainly during the holiday season around Christmas time, we write the bulk of our checks to those who are in need. However, that does not and has not limited us to write checks at other times during the year. There have been needs by folks who've had doctor bills in August that needed to be paid, or folks who had utility bills to be paid in February, or something was going to be shut off. So the organization is a year-round organization, but we especially go out and actually recruit, if you will, the needs of folks around the holiday season, and try and fill in some of the gaps where some of the other organizations may not have been able to fulfill those needs in a timely fashion.
That sounds wonderful. I've really enjoyed learning so much about the 100 Club. In fact, I'll join as soon as we're through with our interview. But while I have you gentlemen here, I want to discuss something with each of you. Jack, I know that you were very involved in setting up a new bank, and I know it has quite a few investors from the city of Wayne. Can you tell us how things are going with the community bank?
Gladly. The things are going very well with the community bank. And I'd like to thank all of those people in Wayne that have invested in the bank as immensely, because we needed your funds at the time we started. And I feel right now that we're on the road to success. We will, by the end of this year, we will complete 2 years and 10 months of an operation. And we should wind up this year close to $50,000 in profit. We also are going, we have some shares that are have not been issued yet that are authorized. And right after Thanksgiving, or just a little bit before, we're going to offer all of our present shareholders a chance to buy some more stock at the initial price that they bought it for, and that was $10. We do have a waiting list of people that want to buy the stock, and there have been some transactions as much as $12. So the bank is doing very well. We forecast next year as a very nice profitable year, and the following year as a very profitable year.
Great, I always enjoy hearing news like that. Okay, and Dick, I know that you have some good news also. This past weekend, I understand that you were inducted into the Special Olympics Hall of Fame.
That's correct, Sharon. I was very honored. There was a banquet in Lansing, and 3 of us, myself included, were inducted into the Michigan Special Olympics Hall of Fame. It was a great honor for me to be there and to be with so many people that I've spent so many years with, and to have those folks thank me in that manner was very, very special to me.
I can imagine. How long have you personally been involved in working on the Special Olympics program?
I began working in Special Olympics in 1973. I guess it's been 23 years now.
Okay, and I know you worked on, a local, a state, and national level?
I have served locally in Wayne County as a games director, fundraising chairman for 15 years, treasurer for 15 years. I've served as a coach and a chaperone for the local Wayne Westland teams. I have coached many a basketball team over the years, and spent 12 years on the Special Olympics Board of Directors for the state of Michigan, twice serving as its president. I'm one of the few people who got to tell Governor England, wait, it's not your turn to speak.
Oh, and you told him.
No, I did not. I said, Mr. Governor, would you like to address the group now? There was 1 year when he served on our board of directors when I was president.
I see. Well, it's wonderful to see you receive this recognition, because I know you're one of the people that I think of whenever I do hear the term Special Olympics around here. I always picture you out there working away.
Thank you.
Thank you both for being our guests today on the Wayne Community News, and we'll look forward to doing business with you again.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. Nice to be here. Congratulations, Dick.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
And go bank.
Yeah. Well, thank everybody for helping the Wayne 100 Club. That's kind of close to Dick's heart and my heart, and there's a lot of other people we didn't mention that have done a lot on behalf of the club, and we want to thank them. And we have room for some new members, so please let us hear from you.
Yes, contact Jack or myself, Tom Daly, Marie Millar, John Zeck, Ted Martin, any of our local businesses. Please contact us. We'd like to get 17 members. Sharon, you've reduced our number for us today. Thank you.
Okay. Good. Thank you. Thank you. We'll look forward to seeing you again next week.